That works. I think it's typically the people who are on set.
All right, are we live? I think we're live. Wow, okay. All right, so hello and welcome to another episode of Island Origins Live. Of course, you can find Island Origins right here on Facebook Live. You can find us on television. You can find us online. And of course, in our brand new issue of Island Origins magazine. So I need to just take a minute. What is Mr. Sexy Man?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm Calibe. If you haven't met me before, this is David, aka Sexy Man.
That's
Mr.
me.
Sexy Man, what do you think of this fabulous? Sorry, let me not bias you, but
Right.
I think it's a fabulous looking new magazine. What do you think?
I think the audience knows that we only do fabulous,
I
and
agree.
so it must be another fabulous edition.
Yes.
So for those of you who have not yet picked up a copy of the magazines, do go out, find your local distribution point, and grab yourself a copy because there are some very, very interesting stories in there, and I strongly encourage you to go out and find it because they will go. There are only 20,000 issues out there on the street, so you don't want there to go away and you don't have your own. So.
And I'm so happy to hear. I know you go to a lot more events than I do, and you
I
put
tend
them
to.
out, and every time you put them out, I hear they move faster than everything else.
They are.
And I was visiting with one of our advertisers today, and an office member picked it up and said, "Oh, I can start adding it to my collection now because she has them on her coffee table at home as a collection." So
Excellent.
you need to add to your collection as well with the new issue of Island Origins available now. Now today we are talking with Dr. Cheryl Holder and Dr. John Williams about heart health. And when I heard this topic at the beginning, I was kind of like, how do we make this interesting? But, I have to research every issue. And I started reading all these statistics and blew my mind. So before I get into that, I want to introduce Dr. Holder and Dr. Williams, ladies first. So I'm going to start off with Dr. Cheryl L. Holder. She's board certified in internal medicine and has dedicated over 30 years of her medical career to serving underserved populations. Very noble of you. She teaches medical students about working in underserved communities and promotes diversity in the health professions through pipeline programs. Dr. Williams, that was a little short snippet, but can you just introduce Sorry, Dr. Holder. We're coming back to Dr. Williams, but Dr. Holder, can you just introduce yourself? And this is the camera that you're going to talk to over here.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Cheryl Holder. I'm an associate professor at the College of Medicine, Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine at Florida International University in Miami. And yep, I'm a board certified internist for many years and have cared for a large segment of the North-Dade, Miami-Dade County community, and now primarily through Jackson Memorial Hospital and the associated clinics.
And before we jump into the next one, I'm the king of interrupting. So I don't know anything about doctors, but you say internist. I just want to understand, because I hear people say cardiologist is a person for heart. So the internist is what exactly do you mean as the internist?
Dr. John and I are both internists. Internal medicine happens after medical school. In your body, there's an organ that does everything. The heart, the kidney, the lungs, the liver. So every organ has the function. The internist learns about all the organs, and then you go on after you finish general training, you go into specialized. So the cardiologist will just focus on the heart,
okay.
The hepatologist just on the liver, the nephrologist just on the kidneys.
So in Jamaica, that's what we used to call a general
practitioner.
GP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we have internal medicine that works with adults.
Right.
Some will go 13, 14, but it's adults doing the general care.
Right.
So people with blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, you'll see us, we'll work, and then when it comes more complicated, then we will send you on to the specialist.
Gotcha.
So I know that there's some other doctors that are not internists, but I just wonder, just out of curiosity, for me, people tend to think I'm fabulous all over. So I'm just wondering. I know they have some people
I'm
who
so
work,
humble.
Yeah, I'm very, very
so
humble.
humble. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so the people who work on the outside, not the internists, do they have a name?
The skin doctors,
So
the
they're skin
dermatologists.
dermatologists. And then what about the ones who recreate people so they can look more like me? What are those called?
They're called the Frankenstein.
Plastic surgery. I knew there was a name. I couldn't remember. All right. Interruptions are over.
All right. Dr. Williams has been very quiet because we haven't gone to him yet, but when we do, he's a troublemaker, and I like that. All right. Dr. John Williams, I like that, Dr. Williams. Also a board certified internal medicine, also board certified in internal medicine, has a private practice here in South Florida. He is the medical director of Doctors Health Group of South Florida. And
was.
Your
Update the bio.
Please tell someone to update the bio.
He was in charge. Now he's past was in charge.
Okay, that's fine. It's still very impressive and fancy, so we like it. And is a principal investigator for Austin. Was.
I really need to update that.
Still very impressive. A principal investigator for Austin Clinical Research Professionals. Now that all sounds very fancy. Please break it down for us and just introduce yourself again to our audience in a little more depth, please.
Well, like my colleague here, Dr. Holder, I am board certified in internal medicine, which, as she explained, is general adult medicine. We deal with all the organs inside the skin. Okay? I'm board certified, Jackson trained, and I've been in this community for a number of years. I won't say how many.
Long enough.
So I initially was in North Miami and Pembroke Pines, and I worked in those two areas for many, many years. And then here lately, in the past year, I have given up those practices. That's why we say was.
Okay.
And I'm now exclusively in the Lauderhill community.
Wait, Jamaica Hill, that's
Lauderhill will like that, and we do have to give the Lauderhill Regional Chamber a plug because they are doing their Women of Distinction Awards breakfast this Friday morning at 7 a.m. Sorry. 7 a.m. I know, right? At 7 p.m. in the morning at the BB&T Center.
Absolutely.
Okay. Also, plug for us. We just also published their event magazine. So,
right?
Yes, so kudos to us. Now, David, I was telling you, when I was researching this, I had a little bit of a heart attack myself. I don't want to make a joke about it, but here are some general statistics, right? Cardiovascular diseases and stroke together are the #1 killer of women. They cause 1 in 3 women's deaths each year, killing approximately 1 woman every 80 seconds.
Where is this? In what country?
In the United States of America.
That research sounds like it's faulty. Doctors, please clarify further.
An estimated 44 million women in the U.S. are affected by cardiovascular diseases. And I got this from the thing with the red dress. What is that?
Yes. Somebody offset, call an ambulance.
90%, I'm ready to go. 90% of women have one or more risk factors for heart disease or stroke. 80% of heart disease and stroke events may be prevented by lifestyle changes. Fewer women than men survive their first heart attack. The symptoms of heart attack can be different in women and men. And if you watched Grey's Anatomy a few weeks ago, you saw that, right? Women age 45 and younger are more likely than men to die within a year of their first heart. Listen, I'm having a heart attack thinking about this right now.
Yeah.
Please, okay.
I have one comment.
Please.
Why is the research only on women?
I wonder. I'm with you, Dr. Williams. I wonder.
It's even worse for men.
It's worse for men.
Yeah, we were told some different things, but okay. So let's dial it back because I'm over here having a conniption. Let's dial it back. What is heart disease? Right? We're having all this. I'm having a conniption about this. What exactly is heart disease? What does that mean?
You want to take it? Well, basically, it is what the blood supply to the heart. It's a big muscle.
Right.
Very important muscle, pumps all the blood to take all the oxygen to all the other parts of the organ.
Right.
So this muscle has to be fed, and it's fed by arteries. These arteries can get blocked, and they get blocked because of cholesterol mixing with some calcium, mixing with some other elements in the blood, and it blocks up the plumbing. It's no different than when you have pipes in your house and it gets corroded. Sometimes the pipes break, sometimes the pipes get blocked, and the end result, you know what happens. So when that happens to the heart, you have heart attacks, and so that's heart disease. And it happens over time. And it's a problem that the world faces. The statistics you're quoting is not just for the U.S. It's pretty much the #1 killer around the world at this point.
But let me pause.
For both women and
Both
men.
women and
No,
men.
not for men. Don't even bother with that. But I do want to ask, for the woman in my life, isn't there some kind of thing, like you said, it's like the pipes. So the pipes you have drainer. What do you have for the heart that we can use that clear up those problems? Because we don't want the women to pass away. Apart from the lifestyle change, what is that drainer that we
Apart
can
from the
use?
lifestyle change.
There has to be
There's
something
that
else.
magic bullet we're looking for again. And
Well,
this is doctors.
I have to ask. So you have to be honest and tell us what's
There
real.
really is no magic bullet
No
that's going to
magic
clean
thing,
it
huh?
out. We have drugs that after disease, we hope to prevent the disease from getting as bad or make it stable, but nothing to truly clean it out.
Dr.
So
Holder,
our goal is
I'm
to-
gonna pause you for a second. And I know this is your camera, but I want you and me to
Yeah.
look at this camera for a second. Magic. Let us look at this camera. I want all those people in the Caribbean watching to send in your comments. What are the remedies that we don't know about that can clean out?
boy.
Because there's a drainer. I want to know what herb we can drink at night or what we can rub on our head in the morning that's going to clear up the heart problem.
White rub.
There-
We're going to submit it to the doctor so they can prescribe it for their...
Yeah, but
their-
why wait when we could prevent this?
All right. Tell us how to prevent it. Tell us.
Before you go on, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I do want to just let everybody know, because we didn't state this at the beginning. We are giving away today a copy of Roots of Irma. I don't know if you can see it in the background of us there, but
And them roots can help the heart too, I promise you.
not these roots, right? But we're giving a copy of the photo book Roots of Irma by photo artist
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Smith. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't know, okay. The fancy names, I can't, okay, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, all right? But he's doing an exhibition this Saturday
At 6 p.m. in the 1310 Gallery.
yes, okay, so
Oh, it's Fitzroy? My apology, Fitzroy.
he'll be coming on at the end of the show to talk a little bit about that, but we just want everyone to know, if you want to win this copy of the book, please listen very closely throughout the course of the show. We're going to ask you a question based on the discussion that's happening. Whoever gets the answer correct to that question is going to win the book. You will have to text in to win at the end of the show, so listen all the way through. If you don't listen, you're probably going to get an answer wrong and you can't win. So, all right, so we're going back to...
Yes.
What was
All right.
it?
I was asking the audience to send in some remedies for the heart, but we're going to listen to the doctors first.
Yes, please.
Yes.
So let's dial back a
Yes.
little.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, that was help us out, doctor.
If we want to cure or decrease
Decrease the
the
chance of
chances
the
of getting
plumbing,
cardiovascular disease, the best cure is prevention.
Of course.
Right, so what you want to do is, from early in life, start developing good habits that will prevent the early onset of heart disease. So,
I have some questions.
we
I'm
need
going to wait
to,
for you to finish talking.
so we need to look at risk factors. So
Yeah.
risk factors for developing heart disease. A strong family history. If your mom, your dad, your uncle all died of heart disease before age 50, you're in a high-risk group. Okay?
So, but
Let it-
all right, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Right.
doctor, go ahead.
Smoking.
Smoking, number one.
Come on, that's like the number one preventable cause of heart disease. So, don't smoke. You shouldn't smoke. Tobacco.
I like that clarification. I like that.
That's
You're a good man. You're a good man.
You're a good Jamaican, yeah.
Don't smoke tobacco.
Yes.
Hypertension, high blood pressure. And they say, high blood pressure is a silent killer. So you, Mr. Sexy, could be walking around now with high blood pressure and have
If
no
I didn't
clue.
check it and know that it was not
Right.
high, I could be.
Exactly.
All right.
So the only way to know is to have it checked.
Regular.
Go to the doctor and have it monitored.
And at the supermarket, because they have those monitors in the
Some of
supermarket.
them are okay,
Not,
but
it's not so good.
but-
All right.
I wouldn't
So
rely
go
on
to the
that.
doctor.
Go
Okay.
to the doctor.
Fair enough.
Fair
Fair
enough.
enough.
Cholesterol. If you,
You
have
should
high
know your
cholesterol,
numbers.
I mean, by the time you get into your 20s, you should have an idea what your cholesterol is. Because that's the time to start prevention, not to wait until you're
So let me ask you
50.
something, because you bring
And
up
wait.
cholesterol, and I want to ask about this, because this is important. I've always had some issues with my cholesterol, but it's not the regular cholesterol that I usually have good and good and good, but you might be seeing them called triglyceride. What is that about? Because that always is what I have high. So tell me about what is that, because I would love to know. Not that it's about me, but everybody wants to know. Tell me about what is triglyceride.
It's a kind of fat.
Is that kind of
Yeah,
fat?
you have different types of fats in the body.
Right.
And some are more linked to stick onto the vessels and
Okay.
others not as much. But what we find with triglycerides, it kind of identifies people who are at risk. People who tend to have high triglycerides also have bigger waist circumference.
I definitely have that.
And the blood pressure is a little bit
Still
high.
sexy, though.
I know, definitely.
Yeah. So those folks we know probably have a little genetic factor that puts you at risk to end up with diabetes, high blood pressure, and
Okay.
heart disease.
Right.
So when the triglycerides high, it's super high before you see really the link of heart disease that is going to give you the heart attack. Not as much as when there are two types of cholesterol. The HDL we call the happy cholesterol, and the LDL we call the lousy cholesterol. The LDL is the one that when it's high, that locks onto the arteries and clogs it up. The HDL is like the rotor-rooter that you're looking for. So that's the natural way of taking off the cholesterol from the arteries, from the wall.
Great.
So your goal is to get that HDL high to do that natural cleaning.
And I know this is probably not an appropriate
Yeah.
question, but I ask it anyway. You call it the happy, the HDL. So since I'm always very happy, you think that makes me a less risk or not really?
Well, if the HDL is high, but you said you have the triglycerides high and your waist circumference is a little bit bigger, so that tells me maybe there's some other problems.
We're
Okay.
gonna
And there
take
also
so
tends
you-
to be what's the word?
Imbalance.
If your triglycerides tend to be high, the HDL tends to be lower.
Oh.
And as
Yeah.
the triglycerides come lower, the HDL tends to be
Okay.
higher.
So these are
it's
very good
balancing.
markers
Yeah.
for folks,
Okay,
but
good
I
to
always
know.
tell the easiest way is check your waist circumference. When you're hitting near 40, just get a tape measure and measure it. When you're getting past 40, you're high for a man. Past 35 inches, you're getting up there to increase your risk.
Gotcha.
And if your triglycerides are high, your HDLs are low, you're not cleaning out the arteries as much.
Okay.
And so there's some things there that we already know, so
Okay.
you shouldn't
So
drink.
waist size is another one of these risk factors that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
sort of a cheap way of telling you if you can't afford your cholesterol
Right.
testing.
Yeah. Were there any more risk factors? You said strong
Weight.
family history,
Body
history,
weight.
body weight.
Body weight.
All right, I'm taking notes. Body weight. Strong
And-
family history, smoking, hypertension, cholesterol, waist size, weight.
Diabetes.
Diabetes, big.
Diabetes.
That's the number. Most diabetics die from heart
Heart
attacks.
That's good to me have that one there.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but most people with the large waist
the
circumference,
sexy waist circumference.
Yeah,
they
the
are
sexy waist.
more prone to develop
Yeah.
diabetes. So
Yeah.
you gotta
And
watch
if
it.
it's
So we
in
have
the
to watch it.
family,
We have to watch it.
and
So
if it's
here's
in
a-
the family.
Yeah, here's a question for you because in another part of this research, it spoke about people over 20, 50% of women. I did read up on women more than men, but 50% of women over 20 have some kind of heart issue that they may be unaware of, or 49%, something like that. It was a very high number.
Over
And I
20
know
or over
20.
30
It
or
said on the what's the red dress? The red
Yeah,
dress
American
website?
Heart Association.
Heart Association. Yeah, that was on their website. So
Wow.
I imagine it was properly researched.
That
But
sounds like a somewhat high number.
it sounds
That's
high
what I
to
said, so I'm with
me.
you.
It sounds high to me. It didn't say that you're going to have a heart attack, but it said that there
But
may
you
be
know,
some.
we know that cholesterol
leaning.
is, especially in the younger population, where we see childhood obesity,
Yeah.
and cholesterol builds up over
Is
time.
what it
So
is.
I'm sure there's something going on in the arteries. Is it going to cause this effect? No, it's probably when they're 50
Right.
that they'll start feeling it.
Right,
But the
and-
buildup is slow, so
and
I
I-
wouldn't be surprised.
I've had friends die at 30 from a heart attack. I knew of
More than
people.
one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, that's family. That's
okay.
very unusual.
Right, and
But
then I
when
knew
you have a
of
genetic-
someone who was coming from jogging, very healthy,
Oh, no, that's
eating
a
well
different-
and
no,
whatever.
that's a different-
Seemingly very healthy.
Yeah.
Seemingly very healthy.
Yeah.
So, outside of taking care, or
There's
what are-
those are another genetic factors with folks who have those sudden death and they seem healthy and they were exercising.
It's
They
typically
found it's a genetic thing that their heart has an arrhythmia
Right.
and then they have the heart attack with
Okay.
sudden death.
So, what are some of the preventative things that we can do? We've
Well,
been talking about prevention.
Yeah, like
You know, she
you
said you have to
know,
get fit.
the key is watching and looking what you're eating,
Right.
knowing these risks, finding out from your families. Many times we find families are not sitting around talking about health.
Right.
They'll have people who have heart disease, diabetes, and nobody wants to share their history. You know, this
But
keeping it secret.
I may be wrong to do this, but didn't you say for family members who died before 50? Or because if they die when they're 85 from a
Right,
heart,
No,
that's
that's
not
not-
as
that's
not as right.
Right.
No.
So it's for
When they're
people
young.
who die when they're
Right,
relatively
young.
young,
Young.
before
Yeah.
50.
Before 50.
I'm safe. I have no family that's so young.
And the one smoke, if you smoke cigarettes at all, do everything to stop. That is just a
So
sure
once
way.
you
It's
stop,
just
you're better off.
Yeah.
You're better off.
Once you stop.
You're better
All right
off,
then,
yes,
all
for
right.
immediate attack, but then there are other things that happen that takes time to clean up the blood.
So talk about symptoms, and there are different symptoms apparently for men
Well,
having heart attack and women.
Before we go on to symptoms,
sure.
there are more things you can do. If you look at the risk factors that we just
Yes.
spoke
Right,
about,
yes.
right? Your family history you can't do anything about.
Right.
Right? Your genes are your genes. Okay? High blood pressure, you can monitor, see if you have high blood pressure, it can be treated, it can be controlled. So that will decrease your
So
risk.
let me pause you. No, I really, because that is important. When you have high blood pressure, is it better to take the medication or to go and run and get fit and to treat it in that way?
Take the
'Cause
medication
take
until
the
you get
medication.
fit.
Right.
And then
Okay.
get fit. You
Because
can do
I
both.
do want to know what.
do both.
Okay, so
Do
next you
both.
said cholesterol
Do
next.
both.
Keep going.
Because the
Yes.
pressure
You know, the
has to be down.
foundation is the exercise
So
and
medicine
eating right,
even before you
avoiding
deal with
salt.
anything else. If you have
And
You're
that.
going to
then-
do both, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Keep going.
Cholesterol. We can measure cholesterol, we can treat cholesterol, you can address it with your diet, exercise, so
Niacin,
on,
that's
right?
what they gave me.
Nice.
That's it.
No, it doesn't work.
All right, we're not going to
No.
prescribe here, so yeah, but you're not going
All
to
right.
prescribe what you need to take.
All right.
Yeah, the last study showed niacin
Niacin
didn't
is
work.
absolutely
We were
useless.
hoping.
This
because
this
it's so
was a
easy, but
decade
it's-
ago or so.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's
wanted to
why.
give me niacin at 2,000 milligram a minute or something
And
like
you
that.
were more red than you are now, right? Yeah, that makes you flush.
Well, and you're going to exercise to get down
Yes.
the waist
All right.
size and diet to
Right.
get the waist size down.
So we said
It's-
smoking already, right?
Yeah, man, you said
Yeah.
smoking.
If you're overweight,
Yes,
Well, that's the biggest challenge because
Right.
losing weight is very difficult.
right.
And so, but we see it from children on up. You have to cut the calories and you have to exercise. You will never lose weight just by cutting out the food.
Right.
And you'll never lose weight by
Just by
exercising
exercising.
only. So you have to do both.
Definitely, understood.
and if you're diabetic,
Yeah.
big risk factor, you can control blood sugar too.
Yeah, you have
Get
to bring
blood
the
sugar
sugar
under
down.
control, you
Yeah.
But,
avoid many
but now
mistakes.
let's talk about sugar now. People always say there's good sugar and bad sugar. So I love fruits. That's a whole heap of sugar in it. So I can't eat my
Can you speak
pineapple.
English,
Oh,
please?
sorry, whoops. I like pineapple a lot. And it has a lot of sugar in it. Can I not eat my pineapple because it's sugar? Or is that type of sugar okay and I shouldn't eat the processed sugar? Or is it no sugars at all? Please help me to know. Because people say all kinds of things. I want to get it from the authority.
Professionals, yeah.
Tell me.
So the processed sugar, definitely not. Now, I'm not a big time nutritionist, so I like to send people to the nutritionist.
Exactly.
But certain foods have a higher, what you call glycemic index. So some fruits carry a little more sugar than some.
Yeah, those are the ones
I think
I
the
like
pineapple
more.
would probably be somewhere in the middle.
Oh, middle I
The
like.
mangoes are really high.
No, those are
Really
you know,
delicious as
Those
well.
are really part of the favorite. Pineapple and the mangoes are.
You know, we tell
So,
everyone.
You can have it in
moderation.
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 Okay, so just in the summer then, like when it's beer.
But, you know, it's going to send up the sugar.
Yeah.
There's just
Oh
no way
my
around
God,
it.
Yeah.
All right, so
So-
let's actually move on now. Let's
All
talk
right.
about symptoms.
Symptoms.
Symptoms of heart disease and heart attack. The two terms may be conflated sometimes. There's a difference between heart disease and heart
You
attack.
have the heart disease, and then the attack is when that blockage happens, not suddenly because it's been building up, and then
Right.
the plaque that's been building up breaks open,
Right.
a clot comes, blocks off the flow. When the muscle doesn't get the blood flow, it's gonna hurt.
Right.
So that's when we see the pain
Heart attack.
and the
Okay.
heart attack.
So what are the symptoms of the heart attack?
That's important for women.
Yes.
Because anatomically, women, we have smaller vessels, smaller arteries, and we have more what we call microvascular disease. That's when the arteries are really tiny. So your symptoms will be a little different. The men will get that, you remember years ago, I'm dating myself, Sanford and Son? Okay.
Yes.
I was dating myself too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he raised his left hand.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, that's a man.
Right.
They
Yes.
get that.
Right.
And it's not a sharp pain. They say most people say it's a tightness, a discomfort,
Right.
and they
Pressing,
a pressing symptom.
like someone stepping on the chest.
Yeah, and it goes
You,
in
you
the
know when I
left
get
and
that
goes
feeling
up.
though? When I get in trouble with like a lady. And
No, we're gonna be like that. We're gonna have half an hour.
No, it's true. That's
see,
all.
the
That's-
doctor is
That's the
agree.
broken heart
Yes,
syndrome. When
yes.
you can get a broken heart, can give you a heart attack.
I didn't even realize that's what it was called. Broken heart
It's the same
syndrome.
because
Yeah.
of the sudden stress. You get the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
sort
Oh
of
my gosh.
break in the
Right.
in
Yes.
the muscle,
Okay.
and
Right.
you get the heart attack.
Right. So you
But
feel the
it's-
tightness in the
Yeah.
chest. You feel the pain in the left arm that you always
But that's
hear
more
about.
in men.
That's men.
Yeah.
What is the
Classic.
feeling in? And I'm gonna give the plug to Grey's Anatomy
Yeah.
again because some of us did watch it here on this set. And Miranda Bailey, who is the chief of surgery, walked into a different hospital and said, "I'm having a heart attack." And these male doctors, who were all, she's a black woman, all these white male doctors said, "Oh, you're experiencing stress. Something is going on in your life," and they ignored her until she actually started, seizing on the table. Why was it that they could not, this is a hypothetical, but,
Yeah.
what is the difference between the symptoms in women? Because she kept saying
Women will have
it's different. Yeah.
Stomach problems, neck, jaw. The way the pain's referred is very different, the symptom. Now, what's very interesting, most people will tell you they didn't feel so well. A few days before or a day before, they weren't feeling themselves. They felt a little tired, they felt a little weak, something was different. And then they started feeling the GI nausea or discomfort in the neck
GI,
or in the stomach,
gastrointestinal.
gastrointestinal
Okay.
system.
Weird.
They feel a little
That
discomfort,
comes-
or they feel the neck, the jaw, the back, different places.
Right.
Only, they say about less than 50% of women present with the classic like this. So we now know that women will come in differently. Now, for TV, of course, but for most
Right.
hospitals, it's pretty well known that women will come in with a little upset stomach, feeling tired. They feel a little ache. They
Right.
feel their shoulder, their back. It's just not the same presentation.
You need to go to the doctor.
I do. Did you have a question before?
No, go ahead. go
Okay,
ahead,
all right.
please.
So, what kind of checkups should we be doing to, in this? Is there a type of checkup that we should be doing for this preventative care? The way that you do a mammogram to check for your breast health and whatever. Is
That's
there?
where the primary comes in. That's why we
Yeah,
say,
that's why you have
you
internists like
should
us.
come and see your doctor. By
Right.
30, you should know your cholesterol number.
Let me
You should
stop
know
here.
your
I
blood
really want to
pressure.
find out. For those of you who are watching the show, I want to introduce these doctors. And I want everybody to know, if you're in South Florida, doctor, tell us where's your office and how they can get in touch with you. If they want to come and see you, because I hear this thing going on, and I'm saying this to the audience, thinking that by recommending them, you're going to see me on a consultancy special price. So everybody, I want everyone to pay attention. Dr. Williams is going to tell them right here how they can get in touch with you so they can make an appointment to check up their health with you.
Okay, so currently I'm practicing in Lauderhill. I'm at 1600 North State Road 7
Oh, right, at the corner 16
Right,
there.
16,
On the north
and-
side.
on the northeastern corner.
Definitely, because the southeast
Across
side
from
is
the-
the UPS substation.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And we're diagonally across from the
Got it, the mall. Yeah, right across from Dunkin' Donuts.
So right there.
Where you get the sugar, and you go right across the corner.
And you get the Jamaican patty and you come over
my
with the
God.
chest pain.
So 1600 North State Road 7, or 441 and 16th Street.
Right. Telephone number
Tell them right there.
954
I hope you're writing it down.
583 1971.
No, hold on a second. So that's how we get. Just out of curiosity, do you see people who don't have insurance? 'Cause a lot of people watching might not have any insurance. And
Yes,
what's the
we do.
procedure? You do.
We
So
do.
there's a special rate?
Yes, there's a special
You
rate.
swallowed hard. You swallowed hard, Doc. I'm not going to ask you any more tough questions.
But
That's where I
Just
come
go.
in.
All right.
Yes.
So Dr. Holder, yes, go
Well,
ahead.
I'm an associate professor at the College of Medicine, Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine, and I do my clinical work at Jackson Memorial Hospital. So I only see uninsured,
What?
and
Doc,
I don't even
say
take
that again.
Medicaid.
Say it right up here. You only see who?
uninsured.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
unfunded, undocumented, on everything, because I'm at the Jackson Clinic.
where do they go? What's the
You
address?
have to go to Jackson. You have to be a Miami-Dade County resident.
We can be for the
And you
day.
have to bring in proof of your Dade County residency. We don't care about your documentation.
We can live
Proof
with
of your
auntie, though,
residency.
with
you
our
can
auntie.
live with auntie,
Yeah,
but
man.
auntie better write you a letter telling
Yeah, of
you
course.
what she contributes to your benefit.
That's right.
And then you bring past the classification and they tell you how much you pay.
So
and you can
that's,
pay
that's
from
Jackson in Miami?
Jackson Memorial
So for those in
Hospital.
Miami, you're here for
Jackson,
Jackson.
yeah.
And for those in Broward, Broward folks.
We got all the South Florida Club, yeah?
1971.
All right.
What's the phone number for Dr. Holder?
585-6000. 305-585-6000.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Now, I heard Dr. Williams make a joke a while ago about you're going to have your Jamaican patty and then have your heart attack, right? No. In reality,
Come to the doctor.
in reality, I've heard or we hear that people will have indigestion and confuse the indigestion with a heart attack. Like, are there ways
Yes.
to be clear about which one is going on in your system?
Sometimes it's very difficult to differentiate. So I've seen many a person show up to the hospital convinced that they're having a heart attack, and it's indigestion, acid reflux, that kind of thing. And then I've seen people who think they have acid reflux and indigestion, but it's a heart
They're
attack.
going down.
Okay.
So, as a physician, it makes it difficult for you. Nothing is easy. Nothing is, most of the times, it's not cookbook, it's not textbook. You just have to have a suspicion.
Right.
Especially for
if this
women.
indigestion doesn't look
That's-
quite right,
Right. Right. So if you think you're having a heart attack, what do you do?
Call 911, but
And
if you
take an
have,
aspirin.
and chew it up.
Yeah.
Chew up your aspirin.
Right.
Oh,
Don't just swallow,
okay.
chew it up.
And it has to be
especially-
aspirin. It can't be Tylenol
No,
or
no, no,
Excedrin.
it has to be
Aspirin.
aspirin because that
Aspirin.
helps the platelets to thin out and not make the clot worse.
Okay.
So is this? And again, I'm asking a question. Is aspirin a daily thing we can just have as a part of being conscientious? No.
Yeah, see, you could bleed, so you could take it, but you should find out if you're in the risk group that need it. So that's why you should
Okay.
get to the doctor, get your blood pressure checked, check your weight, check your cholesterol, know your numbers.
Doctor,
And in one visit, you can get it all done like that.
that's fantastic. I just have to tell you in advance. As much as I would prefer to see you as a female, I live in Broad, and 07 is close to me. So Dr. Williams,
yes, sir.
I want you to tell the staff ahead of time that Sexy Man is coming and it'll be a special rate.
Yes.
All right,
definitely, for sure.
good. I'm glad that's
I'm
clear.
sorry. You know what he
Yeah.
does? He goes into fast food restaurants and they'll write your name on a thing. They'll ask what is your name and he puts Mr. Sexy Man. And then somebody comes to the counter and they're like, Mr. Sexy Man. I don't know what is wrong with this guy. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's a question. Why is heart disease, so as the number one killer of all of us, why is heart disease so under discussed, especially in our community, our Caribbean community, our minority communities?
You know, it's hard to say why, because everybody knows somebody who has high blood pressure. Everybody knows the diabetic. Everybody knows when they have the heart attacks. But I think it's because what you need to do to make the change is so hard. So they pretty much try to not discuss it and hope it's not going to be them.
Right.
And that's what that's that person, but I'm not going to have a heart attack.
Right. We kind of stick our head into the
Kinda
sand. and-
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot, I find the Caribbean population doesn't smoke, at least the women don't smoke as much cigarettes. So you don't see the sudden early in the 50s,
Right.
early 50s deaths like you do in males who smoke.
Right.
But you do see it by 60s. That's when the heart attacks are showing up. 60s to 70s, they're getting the heart attack. So I think they feel they've dodged a bullet because they're not having a heart attack at 50 like the men do.
I
But
think also, in recent years, especially with the greater incidence of obesity and diabetes starting earlier, we're starting to see the heart disease occur earlier and earlier. So, it's very important. It's nice to have that chubby little child, but it really is not good for them. And this, thick is the new thing.
Yeah.
Thick is not good. Thick
Right.
is obese.
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so we need
A
to
lot
get
of
this
people don't
body
even-
image
yeah.
thing straightened out also.
It's good that we accept the body and not stigmatize fat and stigmatize overweight.
Right. But we also
So
have
it
to be
is
conscious
yeah,
Some health
yeah.
issues
There's some
going on.
health issues that
It's
accompany.
not just about
It's not
how we
just-
look and accept. It's
Yeah,
it's
so I
what's-
want to look
what's
and
going
feel
on.
good about who you are and what size you are, and you're still positive about that image, but understand that there's a risk involved.
Right.
and that risk means that you could die 5 to 10 years earlier than you need to.
Sexy man, I don't want you to die. You come and walk in with me on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
I can be convinced to do almost anything.
Lord have mercy.
The other thing too is there is a resistance in our community towards taking medication.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Don't
I
want to
agree.
take
Because we want the
medication.
bush. David just asked for the bush.
Medication is
agree.
going
I'm not quick to run up and down.
damage my liver, damage my
But
kidney,
hold
my
on,
this, my
doctor.
that.
So
the
here's the
other.
thing. I want to tell you some things, right? You're my friend now, and come to your office. Sorry,
Right.
English.
Yeah.
My apology. My apology. I have to be proper. Queen's English. I might almost drink your water. I'm going to my empty water. All right. So listen.
Minus one is
I'm gonna say two things. All right. No, I unfortunately I'm one of those people. I don't really believe in the medication as much, and there's two reasons why. The first reason is that every time you're watching these commercials on television, they say take this medication to fix you, but there's 1,000 things that's going to happen to you.
More wrong than what is going to
Yes, I have a problem when they tell you your bowel is going to bleed.
There's a risk of death, and the person smiling, you're going to die.
So it's hard to really
But-
believe in all right, you go ahead.
The thing is
Answer.
with the
There's another one after that.
There's always risk versus
Benefits.
benefits.
Yeah.
Right? And in something like heart disease, cholesterol, when you look at the risk of the cholesterol medication versus the massive benefit it gives you
I feel you.
in reducing that incidence of
Yeah.
heart attacks
I
and
feel you.
stroke 30, 40, 50% versus a 1 in a 10,000 who may have
But
a bleed
understand
or
this-
who may have
understand the
a little muscle
psychology.
ache
Oh.
and
Yeah,
so
I
on,
see
you
the
know?
psychology of
Here's
it,
the
but
minute.
then the food, you say, is there still risk benefit of the food? Yet somehow you're able to overcome it and eat that food that you know is terrible for you.
Sure,
So
sure.
how do you overcome it to see something that's going to benefit you?
I totally agree with you. But what I'm saying is not that I'm not saying that medicine is bad, because obviously if I have to take a medicine to keep me alive, I'm going to take it because I want to stay alive. But why I mentioned what I did is that what happens is that all these ads proliferate in the mind that medicine will do so many bad things, so that when the one that is so critically good, I don't see the ads that saying get your heart medicine, it's going to help you, and there's very little side effects. So
No, there's
it's-
nothing with a little side effects. That's
Okay.
just medicine.
Okay, got you.
You know,
That's
just
a
what it is.
clarification.
Because there's side effect, because there are millions of people and everybody's genetics are
It's
different.
different, right.
So when we do the studies, there are going to be of 100,000 people, somebody's going to react to it.
Got it.
And we have to tell you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
However,
the clarity.
the basic benefit is still greater. And the problem we
Way
have
greater,
is
way
that
greater.
the treatment naturally works. But it is very difficult. I've been
Right.
having patients trying to lose 20 pounds for 20 years and they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
year they
yeah.
keep gaining a pound.
I need to do some cabbage.
So-
the cabbage is
The cabbage works for
Cabbage
you.
works. It works. Yeah.
Cabbage diet, right here.
I'm on it right now. Check back with me in about 2 weeks. All right.
You know, the problem with things like the cabbage diet and so on,
Yeah.
you'll
They
only
can do
do that for a short period
time.
of time. You will
You
not do
never
it for
stay
You're
on
right.
20 years.
I did it and
Yeah.
it came off and it came right back on.
Exactly.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, I don't have a phone. Oh, yes.
Mickey?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
inside audience.
Yes.
Come on.
Studio audience, what is your question?
Dr. Fitzroy.
Are different races like blacks affected differently than whites with heart disease, and why?
Dr. Lucas?
Yes, yes. If you look at, say, blacks with hypertension versus whites with hypertension, blacks with hypertension have far more complications
I
than
do
whites,
want to
with
pause
the same
again.
degree of hypertension.
What is hypertension, boss man?
High blood pressure. Sorry, my bad.
What is hypertension? New thing coming to the mix.
The
Thank
blood
you.
pressure,
It's hypertension. Okay.
140 over
More
90.
questions.
Hold on,
No.
did we finish? The
No.
answer? Hold on.
Now, it's a little tricky
Yeah.
because when you look at hypertension, if you go to Africa, you don't see the rates of hypertension in Africans in Africa
Right.
as you see in the US
Right.
and in the Caribbean and the people who've come across the Atlantic. So there's more than just saying it's more in blacks or whites. The highest rate of hypertension in the world is in Europe.
Right.
Germans, some of the Scandinavian, they have a very high rate of hypertension.
Wow.
And they link it probably to alcohol, diet, and other factors. So,
But the thing is, the complications of the
complications
hypertension,
are
though,
more.
we get more.
yeah, we get more, because our kidneys are a little different, especially in the kidneys. So the kidneys of the blacks that came over, and they've looked at some of the genetic issues, and coming across the transatlantic in the slave trade, the blacks who survived tended to have a way of conserving sodium and staying alive and keeping the blood pressure. But now that we're living where we're able to eat, we can't, our kidneys are not able to manage the Western diet.
Gotcha.
So we tend to have worse complications from high blood pressure. We tend to get diabetes, again, probably genetic factors again, with the obesity and the diabetes complications.
So that's why you're saying
So-
the Caribbean diet, the yam and the banana, which is closer to the African diet, might
Does-
be better.
Because the glycemic index we're talking about is lower,
Yeah.
because there's more fiber in the food.
Right.
So when you switch to processed foods, high salt foods, things like the Jamaican patties are quite delicious. However, they are over 600 something calories in one patty with a very high fat content.
But it's so good.
Yeah, man, that place good. But
That's
but
why
there
you
are some
should just do the
So
cocktail ones.
there are a
don't
few
buy the full
questions
ones.
in the chat. I'm gonna ask one or two of them. Can you ask the doctors about the idea that plant-based diets can reverse heart disease?
The data does show that a plant-based diet is probably the best thing for heart disease because cholesterol is much lower. We get the cholesterol from animals, and that's the worst type of cholesterol. So, you know, plant-based diet will definitely, over time, you will see the plaques not continue to build up. It's like, you
Right,
know,
let's-
over time.
Let's be very clear, though.
Yeah.
You can't live dangerously for 60
60 years. And
develop a 90% blockage with plaque,
Yeah.
and then suddenly
A plaque.
change to this plant-based vegetarian diet
And-
and expect that plaque is going to suddenly just dissolve. It
Yeah,
will
it does
not
not
happen.
do it.
So you have to start early, prevent that 90% blockage, and a plant-based diet
will do it.
as a youngster, you know.
But
That will
chocolate
prevent
is
it.
a vegetable, right?
Chocolate is very good. Dark chocolate
Yes,
is
dark
Here,
excellent.
what do you tell her about
Dark
chocolate?
chocolate.
No, dark chocolate is excellent.
When she passes away, I'm gonna send her back to.
No,
Listen,
dark
Hershey.
chocolate is excellent. It's an antioxidant.
All right, so somebody has a follow-up question answered?
Yes.
What's the main
Speak
cause-
loudly.
What's the main cause of diabetic coma?
Diabetic
High
coma.
sugar.
So the question is, what's the main cause of diabetic coma?
The main cause is not taking
The
medication and
medication.
allowing that blood sugar to go up
super
to
high.
hundreds. I've seen
Yeah.
1,000, I've seen
I have a few
1,200.
comments. A question here in the audience, go
When
ahead.
you're menopausal or with thyroid issues, how does that work when you're getting older?
Well, menopause definitely because the estrogen is protective. So when there's no estrogen, we start seeing the effects that the estrogen would have helped keep the cholesterol from building up on the walls,
Right.
so you don't have that protection. So that's why we tend to see heart disease 10 years later. Men will get it 50s, women will get it in the 60s.
Right, because the protection
So it
goes
is,
away.
the protection goes away with menopause.
Okay.
Thyroid disease, because when there's not enough for the metabolism and the underactive thyroid, you will start seeing the cholesterols go up and more complications because you don't have the metabolism, you're gaining the weight.
Right.
So it comes back down to how you're using the energy that you put into your bodies. And if you're not going to use it well, you're going to build up on the arteries.
Right.
Doctors, I'm going to tell you, you don't believe how the time flies on this show. The
Yeah.
time has run away. We have some questions, and this is what I want you guys to comment on. My doctor suggested red yeast rice capsules,
Yeah, it works.
which I get at Walmart. It works. It works. Good to hear. Never even heard of it. When my
All right, there's going to be a showdown. All right.
I beg to differ
you guys
somewhat.
find
Okay.
this camera. Find out-
Yeah, it works. It
All right, let's
works.
split the screen.
It works because it works just like the statins we give you. It's the same drug, just natural. Unfortunately, it's not that potent.
Exactly.
So
So it works,
It works
this
a little
much,
bit. Yeah.
while the medications work
yeah.
this much.
You need, depending on your what numbers you have, you need a heavy-duty dose to bring that cholesterol down, red rice won't do it. But it's the same mechanism like the pills we give you.
But if this person is just a little bit at risk and the doctor says to use that, it's because they're
You know,
Possibly.
If the cholesterol is
I
just
don't know.
minimally elevated,
Usually
it
we
may help.
Usually we like to do. You gotta bring that bad cholesterol down.
Bring it down.
that lousy cholesterol
One more
low.
question. Nikki, speak loudly, please.
Maxine asks, how dangerous is A1C over 10?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
How
Very
dangerous
bad, very
is
bad.
A1C over 10? What does
Apparently
that mean?
Very bad. That's
Yeah,
her number.
alright.
Somebody-
That's hieroglyphics, but what is that? Explain what it is and then say.
So the hemoglobin A1C is a measure we do which gives us your average blood sugar over a 3-month period. Now for a normal person who does not have diabetes, not diabetic, the hemoglobin A1C normally will be 5.6 or less.
Ooh.
So if
Ten
you're
is
10 is,
double.
10 is
Uh-huh.
not good.
So now, if your hemoglobin A1C is 10, that means, I'm thinking of the chart now,
Or
your
even
average
worse.
blood sugar is probably
Over
above,
10.
definitely above 250, probably above 300. So that is very bad.
Yeah,
You need
very
to get that hemoglobin A1C
And
at least below 7.
And I always tell you, it's really easy to think of A1C. Everybody knows M&Ms. You got red blood cells. When the sugar gets on it, it gets coats the red cell. So you have that sugar coating on your red blood cell. So we just count how many of these red cells are coated. Most of if you have normal sugar, it will not coat more than maybe 5% of those red cells. When you start coating 15 and 10% of those red cells, you are causing a lot of damage to your organs. So that's all we check. And we check it over 3 months because your red cells live about 3 months in your body. So we can tell what's going on. So that's a lot of M&Ms
Before we go
running
to
around.
more questions, because there's a lot of comments, and there's a lot of you, there's people thanking you for this great information, and I see a number of questions. If we can we ask a question for the book now? Because we're about to bring on
Okay, yes.
Ryan, and we want people to have a chance to win the book before we go off the
All
air.
right. So, should we ask a question that just went or one from earlier in the show?
I think for the people who have been engaged in the last 10 minutes, we should give them a chance.
All right. So that everybody has a chance, and this just happened. What is the normal level of A1C? Or what's that number that should be the normal level for your A1C? No cheating.
I listened. I
No
know the
cheating.
answer.
Judy, you cannot answer. I'm sorry.
No one answered.
Staff and
Can't win the
on-camera
book.
assistants are unable to participate in the competition.
Okay.
So, but if you'd like to lend us that book.
There is a text number. Is it on screen, Mr. Magic?
Yes, so you're going to text to
DMR Media, our wonderful producers here on set, along with Nikki Lopez Creative, have all the stuff signed up and locked in. So look out for the number to text the correct answer to.
Right.
And we're giving the prize to the fifth person
to
to text
text
the
in
correct answer.
to what is the normal number level, what do you call that?
Level.
Level.
of your
A1.
hemoglobin
A1C.
A1C. What should that number be? And doctor,
Not posted.
Yeah, you gotta text
Text
it
it,
to
don't
the phone
post
number.
it.
Don't post it in the
text
group.
it to 954.
200-5110. Thank you so much. And it should be on screen.
On your screen.
And Nikki, back to you. I know there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
So one is specific, someone said, when is Walk a Mile with a Child, Dr. Holder?
May 5th.
What is
Okay,
Walk a mile
so,
with a child.
so let's
is-
talk about your thing
Excellent.
before we bring on
That was a great
Brian
question.
Fitzroy.
Yeah,
Tell
Walk
the
a Mile
camera,
with
tell
a
the
Child
people.
is what we do through the Black Physicians National Medical Association. I tell everyone there are only about 50,000 black doctors in the U.S. Over 1 million and only 50,000 of us. What we are trying to fight is childhood obesity because we know this is what you start. It starts young. And then you get the diabetes, the heart attack, the high blood pressure. We walk 1 mile in Overtown and then we follow up with a health fair. It's May 5th, 2018 in Overtown. If you go to jwbms.org, jwbms.org, you'll be able to donate to the cause. We raise the funds and we give it to different activities in the city. STEM Saturday, FIU, we do STEM education, we do summer interns, we help Booker T. Washington Band, we help different organizations when we raise the funds because the goal is to fight childhood obesity because the cholesterol problem starts in childhood and we see it with the obesity. May 5th, 2018, come on down to Overtown. We're at Gibson Park, right there, 493rd Avenue. Overtown is fantastic to see. And we hope that people will come out and join the fight because if we can start from children, putting more plant-based diets in what we do, more exercise, simple walking, we can make a difference. And that's what the Black physicians, because we deal with this every day. The diabetics, the obesity, the high blood pressure, the heart attacks, and we can start headed off at children.
Michelle Obama, are you related to Eric Holder by any chance?
No,
Okay, just
no,
checking.
I'm a
All right.
Jamaican holder.
Dr. Williams, do you have a charity that you'd like to plug?
Yes, we have a charity called the. Yeah, we work together on this one also.
Okay.
So it's called the Mama, M-A-M-A, like we like to call our mothers. Mama Scholarship Program.
Right.
Our website is mamascholarshipprogram.org.
Okay.
And what we do fundraisers. We raise funds for scholarships for kids going to secondary education, post-high school education here in the U.S. and also in the island of Jamaica, where we're from. So we have several children that we support there in their education. We also do a medical mission to Falmouth, Jamaica every June. So we go for a week to a clinic there and we treat the community.
The Methodist Clinic, a fantastic clinic.
Yes. And we also, as a part of our mission, we see the kids at the Granville Place of Safety for abused and neglected children who are in the court system there. So we
Very
do a
nice.
lot.
Good works are happening. Okay, fantastic. All right, now, I hope this camera is looking at me. Is the camera looking at me? All right, fantastic. Because we're running out of time, and we don't want to run out of time before we have our next guest join us. So the next person that we have coming on to kind of join the conversation is our friend Ryan Fitzroy. I know him as Ryan Smith. I don't know when he became Ryan Fitzroy. We all have to have fancy names, right? So Ryan Fitzroy did this fabulous book called Roots of Irma. And I didn't really understand what it was, but I see the exhibit going up where we are at 1310 Gallery in Fort Lauderdale. And what it is, well, I don't want to explain it. Can we just switch back to the other camera and we will introduce our friend Ryan Fitzroy. Mr. Fitzroy.
Well, hello, how you doing this fine evening?
You hear the bass voice come in? I'm not to rumble the whole room, okay? Yes,
doing?
Mr. Fitzroy. All right.
Ryan, listen,
So-
everybody, hey, Ryan, look at this camera here and tell people where to come on Saturday evening to come and get to.
And tell us exactly what it is. What is
Tell us
Roots of
what's
Irma?
going on. Sure.
On Saturday, March 3rd, we're going to be having a book launch and exhibit for Roots of Irma, yes, exclusively. And we're going to be doing pieces from the book as an exhibit within the gallery, selected pieces which are very unique within itself, and just sharing my experience with people who went through the hurricane and experienced some of the danger within Irma. But it's done in a sense where it's an artistic presentation. It's not like anything graphic where you're going to see
Not the
any-
people suffering
Yeah, no,
on the
it's
ground.
not.
It's the trees.
Yeah,
It's
it's trees and abstracts and different concepts from the damage.
the
that was
plant
done.
life. The
Yeah.
plant life that was lost as opposed to human life or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also wanted to just share with the people, because I know that there are other things going on. So you have the exhibit. Is there entertainment? Is there
Of
anything
course,
else that
yes.
is going on?
We have
that,
yes, we have Facet 3 that's going to be performing with guests, live band, live entertainment. A couple of things that we don't want to really give away the surprise, but it's free and
oh, you don't want to give away the surprise?
No, we don't want to
So,
give away
so
the surprise.
people, be sure to come out and enjoy surprises.
Yes.
I didn't know there were surprises.
Yes, man, they're-
So I have to be careful.
Are there
So-
prizes?
Is
and
it-
Yes,
prizes?
There are prizes too?
Of course.
I
All
like
right,
it.
I like it a lot.
All right.
I'll actually be there for sure. So for those ladies who want to meet Sexy Man, come on out on Saturday. At what time is it again? 6
Oh,
p.m.?
they're gonna come to meet me? Oh, you said sexy
Guys, I
man.
give up.
Oh,
I give up.
that's your time. That's your child. I'm not gonna infringe your title.
Thank you. I appreciate that you don't want to steal my title.
So don't forget that it's the 1310 Gallery.
And the address, I'll just say it right here.
Yeah.
It's 1310 Southwest 2nd Court in Fort Lauderdale, downtown. It's right behind the police station. So it's right off Broward Boulevard and 14th Ave. So if you be coming on down, I promise that I've seen the exhibit and it's really fantastic. And I'm going to tell you, there will be surprises. So I can't say more, but I would definitely tell you, come on out. It's going to be a good evening of fun and entertainment. And you can actually come and get your own signed copy of
Roots of Irma.
It's just like that. So you can come on out, get your own personalized copy. I'm being told that we are running short on time. And I want to just say, since we do have you, Ryan, tell us a little bit more about the other projects you have. Because I know this is not the only thing you're doing. So Roots of Irma, the book's launch is Saturday, book signing, exhibit. What else are you going on with? Because I do know of some of the projects and I think you should share it with the audience. Looking right up here.
I'm also the co-founder of a company, proud company called Island Niche, and we do Caribbean American luxury brands. We do high-end unique pieces. We collab with artisans and different artists.
So one of your pieces is out here on display.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
That was done by Simone Bernard.
Yes, Simone, another fantastic creative.
Very good artist.
In the new issue of Island Origins magazine, you'll see one of his fabulous pieces. Well, not your fabulous pieces, meaning that you crafted
His
it.
company collaboration.
As you said, you curate.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Including stuff from Mr. Sexy Man.
Of course,
There's
yeah,
a
of course.
side mirror bag as
Yes,
well.
of course, you guys must know the elaborate designs that we did with Mr. Sexy Man here.
Absolutely.
He has the side mirror messenger bags that's taking the place by storm. So if you don't have yours already, go on islandniche.com and check out the different variations of what we have.
And then any other projects?
Yes, we have a couple more things, but we run out of time, so.
Ryan,
we save it for the next time.
Ryan is also a producer, so he knows that we have to keep our thing on time, right? Island Niche.
Islandniche.com for Ryan Fitzroy.
And you can find us on Amazon, Amazon.
Oh, that's so not fun compared to coming to the book signing. But if you are not in South Florida, so for those of you watching in Australia, in Europe, wherever, Amazon does have the book, Roots of Irma.
And we will have copies here on Saturday.
Right, and for those who are here locally and want to get it signed, absolutely.
All right, so do we have our fifth person having texted in?
I have no phone, and I told Ryan to bring the phone on set. So
can someone please pass the phone so that Ryan doesn't have to go off the set? Thank you, and you can walk on the side here and give it to us. Thank you. All right, Ryan is very tall, so he's not going to be chopped out of the thing. You have to scooch down. Okay, you're good. All right, great, fantastic. So while David is checking on that, we don't have time for hot topics today, but let's do some quick fire questions while David is checking on this. All three of our guests are going to answer this question really quickly. If you could meet any historical figure, who would you choose and why? Dr. Holder, real quick.
Nelson Mandela.
All right.
He's just so amazing to have endured what he did, all those years in prison, and still come out a forgiving man.
That's amazing, yes. Brian.
Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Yes, because she's one of my heroes because of the supporting role she played. And she's a mentor to one of our first, of course, one of our best presidents, I think.
Yes.
And for that, I can say she's a role model to me and many people within the world.
Amen. All right, Dr. Williams.
I would have said Nelson Mandela, but since that he's taken,
It's
I'll
gone.
go with Martin Luther King.
Because
I think he was exceptionally brave to step out and fight for civil rights in the period that he did.
Right. And in this climate in America, yes. Do we have our fifth?
Well, we definitely have the winner, but unfortunately, we did not ask the winner to send their name. So I have a few people who got it correct, but the fifth person, I've sent them a text to say, send us your name so that we can know who you are and send your address. So if you're still watching,
can you give the last 4 digits?
Check your phone. The last 4 digits of the phone number is 1. Sorry. My grammar teacher here is correcting my grammar.
I just finished editing a magazine, I'm sorry.
1488 are the last 4 digits of the phone number.
1488! 1488, just one.
You are a winner.
Just one, a copy of Roots of Irma. So congratulations, Ryan. Are you going to sign it to 1488 when we get their name?
Yes, I'll put the 1488 in there and sign it. No.
When we get the name, Ryan,
Yes.
we'll sign this to you,
Most
and then we
definitely.
will either mail it off, or if you're coming on Saturday, you can let us know, and he can sign it to you in person.
Before we go, I just want to say to everyone watching, please share. Go
Share.
now, hit the share button so that many others can enjoy tonight's informative and fun discussion about what we need to do to pay attention to your health. Listen, this is our third health show for the year.
Is it?
Can you believe it? And we
did mental health. We did
Yeah.
health with Dr. Golson,
right.
and then we are now doing heart health specifically.
And we did another one about our overall health. Remember with the other Dr. Golson?
Okay. Oh yes. No, that was mental health. Yes,
No,
that's what I just said.
no, we did mental.
All
we
right.
did-
Yes. Okay. Agreed. So 3 of them. Yes. We're very healthy. Aspirational
health
in our
consciously,
mind.
yes.
Conscious. Yes. We're gonna start walking on Thursday together. Mr. Sexy Man.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's garbage day. I don't walk on garbage day. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I don't do that.
We're starting a walking.
Anyway.
We're starting a walking club.
So
Anyway.
you agree, right, Nikki? Subscribe, right?
Subscribe.
So, again, we have the brand new issue of Island Origins magazine. If you're friends with me, you see it. You see me posting like pages from the inside of the magazine.
Is
we
that
have
online
really.
also, Island
It's
Origins?
gonna
Yes.
be online. It's not
It is.
there yet.
And you can subscribe on the website. If you go to islandoriginsmag.com,
Right.
you can subscribe and get it mailed to your home.
You can subscribe to the print version and have it mailed to your home. We've had quite a few offices saying that they're going to subscribe, so please have your offices subscribe. You can subscribe to the online version, so we'll send you emails periodically, and you can actually look at the flip book, the whole flip book online. It's not as engaging. It's better to get this. It feels great and it looks amazing. All right, so you can go to islandoriginsmag.com/subscribe to get your copy, and copies will make the
Copies,
4 for
yeah.
the year, and it's only $16.
Yeah, it's very reasonable.
Very
16?
reasonable. Only
Yeah.
$16.
It's just a cost of shipping.
Yeah.
And our producer is trying to tell us that we're
That
going
we're wrapping
off.
up. So join us next week when our topic, straight from the current issue of Island Origins magazine, out right now, is the gentrification of ganja, the good weed. All right. Dr. Wilson says you can't smoke it. That's what I heard.
I didn't
That's
hear
my
that.
story. That's my
I
story.
didn't- I
That's my
didn't hear
story.
that.
I'm sticking
I
to
didn't
it.
hear that. He just said that cigarettes are bad for you.
All right, let me behave. Dr. Williams did not say that. I'm taking a whole lot of liberty. But anyway, we're talking about the gentrification of ganja. It was written by our very own queen of controversy, Ginette Wright-Muir. She will be joined by attorney Cheryl Murray, who she interviewed for the article, and Dr. Anthony Hall to talk about the ganja industry and how Jamaica, which really is the home of weed, if we say so ourselves, right, will or will not benefit from its commercialization. All right, so get your copies this week at our partners, including Golson Spine, including We Florida Financial, including a whole bunch of places. It'll start to roll out this week or next week.
And the city of Miramar.
The city of Miramar,
Fabulous.
city of Lauderhill, El Pac, so many different places, at the doctor's offices as well, I'm sure. All right, and of course at the Women of Distinction event this Friday and Jamaican Women of Florida. Let me actually give you those dates, upcoming events. Did I cut it out? Oh no, Women of Distinction is this Friday, March 2nd at the BB&T Center. It starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. Calle Ocho and Carnival are in Little Haiti. I think that's next week. Little Havana. Whatever. Sorry, Little Havana. If you go to Little Haiti, there won't be dancing and people and stuff. All right, so go to Little Havana for Calle Ocho and Carnival. Jamaican Women of Florida Empowerment Conference is March 17th. That's during the daytime. And then the evening of that same day and the following day is Jazz in the Gardens in Miami Gardens. That's March 17th and 18th. In the evening, I am Calibe. This is David, aka Sexy Man. I'm so sorry. We need to make sure that we thank our sponsors of the day. Do you have the special graphic ready, Magic? We have DMR Media. If not, we can put the lower third up. DMR Media, who does all of these wonderful camera switchings that you see going on. Our production is super fabulous thanks to DMR Media. And of course, Nikki Lopez Creative. Woo! Right, who's doing all of our social media, our sharing, all the interactive back and forth that you see is done by Nikki Lopez Creative. If you need amazing social media work done, please give her a call. Give DMR Media a call for the graphics and stuff. I'm Calibe. This is David, aka Mr. Sexy Man. We are the publishers of Island Origins magazine.
This is the longest ending to the show in history.
I know it
Magic,
is.
wrap up the show.
And we will see you next week at 7 p.m. on Island Origins Live.
Live.
It's